Hey, what's going on? Matthew Taman here. Listen, if you want to build a website and you're looking for the best software to use, in this video, I am going to show you 8 CMS platforms that you can be able to use. Now, CMS stands for Content Management System. There's so many of them out there, but my goal is I want to focus on just 8 of them. Okay. So the first one that we want to do is WordPress. I'm sure that you've heard of, WordPress. It's really popular. It's used by 38% of websites use it, for blogs and, hobby and things like that, online site, news site. A lot of people use WordPress because it's very easy to use and it's a very simple interface. So as you can see from this site here, you can customize design. It's SEO friendly, it's responsive, it loads fast, and WordPress has a lot of great features with it. Now, in terms of customizability, WordPress has over 50,000 plugins. That's a lot of plugins. Now, what is a plugin? A plugin allows for you to be able to add more features on your website. Okay, so let's say that you wanted to add a video, you wanted to add an e-commerce store, you wanted to do some more things. You can be able to get what's called a plugin and you integrate it with your site and you can be able to use it and add those features with it. So as you can see from their site now, they have different plugins here. You can go through and there's a lot of them. You have the featured ones. They have the beta plugins, they have the popular plugins. So they have so many, regardless of the type of feature that you want to have on your site, plugins are the way to go. And they also have a lot of simple ones. They have free ones and they have ones that are paid. You have to pay for it. Now, in terms of customizability, they have what's called themes. And themes are a way for you to build your website. So if you want to start to create a website and you've never built a website before, you don't know what type of look you're going for, you don't know what type of layout, the structure, they have free themes that you can get started on. So what most people do that are getting started is instead of you having to hire a designer, you can use one of the free themes that they have on their platform. And with basic knowledge, you can be able to customize it, meaning you can change the look, the text, the images, the videos. You can even sell products on there. So they have a lot of themes on here. And there's over 31,000 plus WordPress themes, so a lot of developers create these because they know that there's a market for it and people really love using it for their website. And then the next thing we want to take a look at too now is security. Okay. In terms of security, how does WordPress really stack up? In 2008, they had a major security hack, and 36 of the websites that were infected, the WordPress sites that were infected, they got infected because they were outdated. And I always tell people this, you want to make sure that your website is updated. The latest softwares help with a lot of security breaches, security loopholes. So those sites that happen because they then update their site, and that's one thing I always tell people. If you have a content management system or any site, you want to update it to the latest version as often as the version comes out. You don't want to wait, you don't want to be behind 3-4 versions because there's a lot of loopholes, that hackers can be able to use to get access to it. And they have a lot of plugins that you can be able to use to make that happen. Now, in terms of pricing, the software itself is free. Anybody can use it. You don't have to pay for anything except you want to get the plugins. But if you really want to get your site up and going and you are starting new, you're starting fresh, you don't have any coding experience, you don't even have a budget, WordPress is a great option because you can get the basics here for free, the core installation for free, and then you can go to the themes. And you can use any one of these themes that you're seeing now for absolutely free. So you can launch a business with WordPress for, almost $0, except with the exception of web hosting, which is something that you'd have to get. So what are the key takeaways from WordPress that we've learned? Well, it's beginner friendly. In other words, as I mentioned before, all these themes you're seeing here, they can be very easy for you to manipulate. They can be very easy for you to tweak, to make it your own. So if you're getting started, is really beginner friendly. Another thing is they have the largest collections of plugins and themes or templates in the world. So what that means is if there's a template that you see here that you don't really like these here, you can go to other developers that sell premium templates, and there are lots of them out there. You buy a premium template and you can make that your own. And finally, costs vary by domain registration, hosting, premium plugins, and themes. There's some themes that are free. If you go to plugins here, some of the plugins you see are free. Other plugins you see are, paid, so you have to pay for them. So the first option here is you have WordPress. WordPress is really great, user-friendly, easy to use, large collection templates, and really great to get your website going. The next one on the list, number 2 on the list here, is Joomla. I'm sure that you've heard of Joomla, and you're probably wondering, what is Joomla? What does that even stand for? Well, Joomla is a Swahili word, means community. Swahili is spoken in Eastern Africa, like in Kenya. It means, community. So Joomla is a really powerful content management system. If you want more diversity, if you want more control of your individual pages, if you want more flexibility, Joomla has a lot to offer. And for those of you that have followed me for a while, you know that I'm a Joomla guy. I do WordPress, but I just really love Joomla because of the flexibility that it has. And the ease of use is out of the box, simple. It has a lot of built-in functionalities that you can be able to use that you don't have to do too much. Out of the box, you can get your website up and going without really adding a whole lot of things on there. And Joomla is very, very popular as well. It's real popular. I think it powers about 5% of websites or something like that. So there are lots of websites that are being powered by Joomla. And it has a front end and it has a back end. It has a lot of, you can check out the benefits. You can check out the extension directory, which we're going to take a look at in a minute, which leads to the next point of customizability. Now, Joomla offer a lot of different extensions. So let's go here. You go to the site and you want to go to extensions. This is where you can find an extension just about everything that you need. So if you're looking to add more functionality than what the core Joomla offers, let's say if something about photo and images, you can come here, you can find something, or social and web, news and display, style and design. So you scroll through here and you can find just about everything. And it had over 7,000 extensions. So they have a large amount of extensions that you can find whatever it is that you need. In e-commerce, you can grab a payment gateway, a shopping cart, and content links. I mean, you just have so many things here. So Joomla offers a lot of customizability and also a lot of templates. If you want to build your website, Joomla has a large template selection that you can be able to choose from. And I've gone through a lot of videos where I talk about some of the best template developers for Joomla in the world. So make sure you check that out because that goes through to show you where you can go to purchase those templates. The next part now is security. Again, when 2008, when they had a breach of a lot of Joomla site, 87, almost 90% of the sites that got compromised, 90% happened as a result of outdated version of Joomla. Now, while Joomla has some issues within itself, like every other content management system, because it's open source, if your website is not updated, you're going to have issues, a lot of issues with it, regardless of what software that you use. And they have a very active community. So you can find a lot of things here. They have a really active community and you can find some of the vulnerable extensions. So when you come through here, you kind of see abandoned extensions. So before you purchase an extension, I would say come to this site and just see if that extension is on their vulnerable extension list or if it's abandoned or what the issues are. Because what happens sometimes is people start to build an extension and then maybe they just lost the passion or something happened and then they just abandon it. And then you go purchase it and that opens your site up for some, hackers to get through. And then that's when, things start to happen. Now, in terms of pricing, if you want to get a Joomla website going, pricing can range depending on who is working on the site. So it can range anywhere from $500 to several $1,000 for someone to be able to do custom sites for you, which is not bad because other platforms can charge you, so much more. So what are the key takeaways that we can learn from Joomla? So Joomla is in the middle between WordPress and another one that's next in the list called Drupal in terms of ease of use and pricing. We're going to take a look at Drupal next. But Joomla has over 7,000, almost 8,000 extensions that it's not very difficult to install and manage. It takes literally minutes, this you can see here, for you to be able to install those. And also, one thing too you want to keep in mind is that it has a lot of automatic ways for you to be able to use things, a lot of automatic updates, so it gives you a lot of flexibility for you to manage multiple pages. So let's say you have 5 pages and you want to give each page a unique look. You can do that with Joomla. That's what separates it a lot from some of the other content management system. So Joomla is a really, really great choice. And the next one now is Drupal. Now, Drupal is really, so for developers, you have some for marketers, Drupal for agencies. And you have to have some type of knowledge in terms of HTML, CSS, to really take advantage of all that Drupal has to offer. So unlike Joomla and WordPress, where, a lot of it is just drag and drop, and even if you've never coded before, you can build something outstanding, professional, and solid. With the Drupal, you can, but it's going to take you a little bit more time, and you have to spend more to configure it, to do a little bit more, and you might even have to spend some money to hire other developers that are more versed in it, to be able to do things. So while it's a great platform, it's not so it's not so beginner friendly. So if someone wanted to ask me, if I wanted to build a website, would I start with Drupal if I've never coded before? I have no clue, nothing. You can, but there's a learning curve with it. Okay, there's a learning curve that you would have to go through, and to be able to kind of get things done. Now, in terms of the ease of use, as I mentioned before, Drupal was designed by developers for developers. What does that mean? It meant that developers wanted to create something that other developers can be able to have and get things going faster. So if you're not a developer, then it makes things a little bit harder for you and a little bit more challenging. That's why you don't see a whole lot of sites powered by Drupal, not because it's not a great platform. It's just that it's really meant for developers, and you have to have some type of basic knowledge to understand. Now, in terms of customizability, they have over 44,000 modules in their directory. Okay, 44, that's a lot of modules that you can be able to incorporate. All right, so let's take, for example, WordPress and Joomla has modules, and the modules allow you to do different things and to add different things with it. Where WordPress use the plugins, and Joomla use the extensions, use the modules. Drupal here, you have a lot of modules that you can be able to go through. And as you get, kind of go through the site, you see for developers, for marketers, you kind of pick and choose their build, download and extend. And then you can see here, they have their different modules. And you can kind of go through the modules here and see which type that you want to get. As with any CMS, they have some modules that are free and they have some modules that are paid. Now, in terms of security, the interesting thing about Drupal is that it has the highest reputation for security among other open source CMS. Again, because it was developed by developers for developers, their vulnerability is a little bit lower, compared to, let's say, a WordPress or a Joomla. They do a really good job of keeping things secure, because in order for you to use it, you have to have some basic knowledge of coding. So the mass population really earn coders. So there's a chance that if they don't know what they're doing, then they really can, hack into it. Not that it's not hackable, they really can try to do, some hacking into it or mess things up, because the mass population really just wants something basic and simple. Now, in terms of pricing, Drupal is, like WordPress and Joomla, it's open source, so that means that it's free to download. Now, there's some cost that's associated if you want to build a site that gives it a lot more feature, and especially for non-technical users. So you want to be able to customize things, to make things simple, to build it. And it can get very pricey. It can get very pricey. And for that reason, some estimates has been that it can cost up to $100,000 or so to build a Drupal website. based on the scale of it. So what are some of the key takeaways? Well, it's geared towards developers. Again, this is not geared towards absolute beginners, for people that have never coded before, people that don't know much about coding. And it has a vast selection of highly configurable modules and themes. All of these here have themes that you can be able to use, which is what makes CMS platforms really great, because if you don't know where to start, you can get a theme, you can incorporate it, integrate it, and you are pretty much set to go. So you can see here, they have different themes that you can be able to check out. And also has the highest reputation of security among other open source platforms, which is a major thing, because security is a key concern anytime that you have a website and have a great online community that you can be able to build. And the cost of building and customizing a site typically range in the thousands. So if you really want to do some major work on your Drupal site, you have to get a developer that really know the system, and that can cost you a few thousand. But again, you know, if you're like an enterprise or a major Fortune company, then Drupal could really work great for you, because you have developers that can be on your team to work on it. And now let's take a look at Shopify. I'm sure that you've heard of it before, but Shopify is primarily e-commerce based. So if you want to build an e-commerce website, strictly e-commerce, and that is your main focus, then Shopify is a really great way to go, because it gives you all the tools that you need in order to do so. You can sell unlimited number of products. You can start your own marketplace. You can grow your business. You can track your sales. You can manage everything. And they have over 1 million businesses in 175 countries around the world, and over $200 billion in sales using Shopify. So it's a very, very lucrative platform. So regardless of where you are, okay, you can be able to use Shopify. It's a really easy system that makes things easy for you to, to build your website with. And it's just as easy as running a WordPress site. It's so simple and it's ideal if you want to get started. It has a lot of blogging tools, customer reviews, ready to go payment option for customers, abandoned cart, recovery, analytics, web traffic, product, and all those things that you can take advantage of when you're just getting started. So you can go here, you can start your business, you can check the branding, you can go with your online presence, you can sell, online store, point of sale. So they give you a lot of tools and make sure that you understand what you're using. They do a real excellent job of explaining what things are and how to get going. So you want to start a trial, you can check their pricing here. And the basic one starts from $29 per month, and it goes all the way to $2.99 per month. And it kind of shows you here what you get for each one. You can have multiple staff. So you want to do is just check out these packages here and see which one is going to work better for whatever type of business that you want. But Shopify, again, it's not free. You pay a fee to be able to use it. As where WordPress, they have some shopping carts, and Joomla has some things where you can be able to get for free. But again, shopping cart is a really great option. So you can use their free trial. And also in terms of the themes, they have a lot of themes that you can be able to customize. You can be able to tweak. You can be able to make it your own. And as you can see right here, this one is an example of a business, and you kind of scroll through, and they launched their business successfully with the themes. You can either get someone to develop it for you, or you can do it yourself. And you can change the appearance. They have over 70 themes and about 1,700 free and paid apps in their official store. So I encourage you to go through this site, just check out the different things they offer for the market, the email marketing, Facebook ads, and so many cool things that they offer for you. Now, in terms of security, it's a really secure platform. You can accept Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discovery, and it's really simple for you to get things going. People can be able to order, and within literally with just one click, they pretty much, checking out like a one-page checkout format. And as I mentioned before, with the pricing, shopping cart starts at $29 per month for the basic one. And if you want to do a little bit more, you want to go advanced, you can go all the way to $2.99 per month. So this is a really good route to go if you want to focus on e-commerce exclusively. So what are the key takeaways or important things to remember about Shopify? One thing you have to remember is that it's ideal for first-time shoppers. So if you're just getting started and you want to get your business up and going online, this is the ideal way to go for e-commerce specifically. So you have, whether you have one product you want to sell, you have 10 products or 20 products or whatever that number of products is, Shopify is a really excellent choice for you because it's ideally designed for people like you. It's not frustrating or confusing. It's very simple and easy to navigate like WordPress. But one thing on the other side too is there is limited selection of themes and apps. You know, unlike WordPress, we have with 31,000, you know, Shopify doesn't have that many. And it also handles the backup and software updates for you, which is key. You know, all the CMS, you have to manually do it sometimes. Well, with this one here, it can do that for you, and that will save you a lot of headache. The next one now is Magento. Magento was acquired by Adobe, I believe in 2018 or so. It's another e-commerce platform. As you can see here, you can be able to use the drag and drop capability to build your store. And it has so many great features that you can take advantage of. And one of the great benefits too with Magento is that if you have even the slightest knowledge of using drag and drops, using the web, you're a tech person to a certain extent, then you can be able to explore a whole lot. You can do so much more than a person who, you know, they don't have any clue about e-commerce. They don't know anything about the web or very little. You can see here, you go to products, they have their page builders, order management. They have the Amazon sales channel. You can request a demo Magento services. So I always tell people that you go through there and you check these out and see how easy it is for you to use. It's a very flexible platform to build whatever you want to build. However, it takes, you know, a lot of time and understanding to explore all the features that come out of the box, even the extensions, because you know, you have to make sure that you have to work with it and see how things are set up. Each CMS have its own different look. So you'd have to go through each one and then see how it compares to the other one. That's why I wanted to give you guys the different ones that you can be able to take a look at. You have the, you know, like the WordPress, the Joomla, and how all those stack up, because once you understand how things stack up, then you're able to make a better choice and a better decision. You can check out their marketplace to see what some of the themes and other things that they have to offer. And they offer quite a few different things on there. So this is just some of their extensions here. As you can see, you scroll through that different categories, just like the same setup that Joomla has. They have Stripe, they have Magento, they have different ones, just kind of going through this here, mobile payments. And so they have a lot of different ones. Some of them are free, like you say, this one here, but other are, you know, paid. So you have to go through and see which one is going to work, you know, best for whatever it is that you want to do. And in terms of pricing, you know, Magento is free to use. You can download it. But again, like WordPress, you know, if you want to do more customization, you would have to hire a developer to help you customize it. And that can get pretty pricey sometimes, that they can charge you upwards of, you know, $15,000, $10,000. You know, if you want to go, let's say enterprise, fully hosted, designed for like enterprise companies, then you're looking like, you know, from 20 to 30,000 and up. So it's something that, you know, if you're like an enterprise that you want to take advantage of it, then it's definitely going to be able to cost you some. So what are the key takeaways from Magento? You know, the learning platform has a lot of features in it, especially for beginners. So it's going to take you time to understand how to use it. It's going to take you time to understand how to make things be the way that you want it to be. And they have over 5,000 add-ons available that you can be able to use for your site. And all the security patches, you know, that needs to be updated. You have to do it manually, which sometimes, you know, if you're a beginner, that can be a scary thing because you don't even know what to do. Sometimes you're panicking. But just to keep that in mind. And the average cost of building a solid Magento website can be in thousands. So it's not like a WordPress where you can just get it and, you know, just not invest that much money. As you can see, If you want to get a solid plugin or extensions, you know, $300 for a multi-vendor, as to where you can get something in WordPress, you know, for cheaper. You get something in Joomla for a lot cheaper. Or even if you use Shopify, that you wouldn't need all this, you know, some of the extensions there, but it's another option for you to take a look at. And the next one to take a look at is Prestashop. I'm sure that you've probably heard of Prestashop. It's like a Joomla, where it's like the middle person or the middle ground in terms of e-commerce, in terms of functionalities. It gives you a whole lot. It gives you so many things that you can be able to do. But it's like the Joomla of e-commerce. Remember earlier when I said that Joomla gives you a lot of flexibility. If you want to customize more, Joomla gives you a lot more of that. Well, that's how Prestashop is. You see some of the themes here. And it's very simple. If you look at their website here, their website is very simple for you to navigate, for you to find exactly what you're looking for. And it's very easy to use. You can get things going really quickly. Once you understand the basics of it, you can kind of go through and just customize it, tweak it. You can set up your cart. You can accept payments online. You can give people different options. So if you're not an expert coder and you're getting started, this is another good choice too for you to, you know, take a look at, because again, it gives you a lot of customizable options. And there are a lot of stores, and it's available in 75 languages, which is a big deal. So let's say that your English is not your native language, you know, and you want to find something in there. Well, you definitely can. Look at the language section here. It's a multilingual cart, and multilingual carts are very important because you can build a shop in your native tongue, you know, which is really great for you. And they offer 3,700 plus modules and over 3,000 themes. So you have the templates and you have the modules. So let's take a look at the templates first. And there's some really awesome themes. You know, they go from 120 euro, and you scroll through, you choose the type that you want, you filter. And it's a really quick way to build the websites with templates. I'm a big template lover because they allow you to build fantastic websites in minutes. So look at this. You don't even have to be a coder. You just buy one of these and your shop can look exactly like this. All you have to do is just to change the images, change the text, change the links, and just change things the way that you want it to be. And it's also, you know, very secure. You know, I always recommend or tell people that you need to get an SSL certificate for your store, because that's going to help you in terms of making sure that people's information is clean. Like this one, the themes here, available in English, French, German. You know, this is just beautiful. You know, I love things that give people the opportunity to learn in their native language. And you see the theme here. You can kind of go through and choose the one that you want to buy and just kind of go from there. So it's not very, very expensive. You know, the themes are not that expensive, and you get a whole package. You know, you get a package deal. And some of the benefits, the key takeaways from Prestashop is that you have a lot of modules that you can work with. Like Joomla has over 7,000, while Prestashop has 7,000 modules and themes available that you can be able to use to build your site, like this one that we're looking at. We can take a look at other ones as well. So that's a lot of modules, and that's a lot of templates that you can be able to use. And you can buy an SSL certificate to incorporate it on your site to keep people's information safe and secure. And again, it's in the middle between Magento and Shopify. You know, as I explained before, that Magento and Shopify, they have one is more, it's harder to learn, which is Magento, and Shopify, it's like a WordPress. So you come in the middle and you have a lot of, you know, that middle sweet spot right there. And now we'll have Type of 3 as an open source CMS that's designed for, you know, building like enterprise level sites. So like the Fortune companies or the major companies, this is ideal for building that. It has over 9,000 features that come out of the box. So that's a lot of features that's like the all-in-one for enterprise building solutions, because having 9,000 features to build something, that's a lot of features that you can have. You can do a multi-site installation. And how multi-site installation works is that you can install multiple sites and work on multiple sites at the same time. So that's a really great thing. Where with all the CMSs, you would have to get some type of plugins or something to do that, have that feature with it. But with Typo 3, it's already built into it. But it's not always easy to set up or install, so you do have to know what you're doing, like advanced developers. So I really wouldn't recommend this for someone that's just getting started. You've never built anything before and you want to get your site up and going. I wouldn't recommend this because the technicality that's involved, you have to be advanced coding. You have to do a lot of, coding to be able to, understand and get things to be exactly how you want it to be. Now, with that said, it has a lot of incredible built-in functionalities. It has a lot of it that you can take advantage of. But again, if you're just getting started, this is not one that you can be able to really mess with. But let's check out some stuff here with the community. You can get involved with the community. You can check out with the, some of the other projects that's going on. You can get certified, which when you get certified, then of course you can be able to charge a little bit more. So for those that are thinking of, they want to go the little more advanced, more coding route, then you can definitely do this. Even though it's a CMS, it still gives you that flexibility to do some, coding. And now we're over at the Typo extension repository. So if you're not familiar with this, I know this is probably scaring some of you who are non-coders. But again, this is more for advanced developers that understand some of this lingo that you can be able to take advantage of. Sometimes some people can read through this. If you're not a coder, have no clue what this means, they start to panic. And so don't panic. Just drink some water, drink a Kool-Aid or something to relax. But this is another way that you can be able to come in to add things that you need. As I mentioned before, I wouldn't recommend this like if you're just starting out. It's not a platform to start out on because it's just too, complex. And the key takeaway is that it's difficult to learn even for advanced developers. So those that are using this really know this stuff and they got this stuff together. And this has over 6,000 extensions that's available in the repository that you can be able to take advantage of. Once you do know what you're doing, then you can definitely use that, and you can charge a whole lot more because they don't have a large selection of people who are really like super advanced users in this. So that puts you in a small niche that you can be able to become the go-to person. And when it's time for you to update it, maintain it, it is going to be a responsibility as to where with Joomla or WordPress or Shopify, that the companies, they can have some plugin or something that can update the site for you. With Typo 3, you got to do it yourself. And finally, for the pricing for the freelancer and agency can be very pricey and expensive. Okay, so that means that you got to have, good money if you want to be able to, implement this, because if you do and something happens to your site, you have an issue, then you have to find a developer that specializes in this. But then because there are not that many of them, it's going to cost you, a pretty penny. And then finally here we have HubSpot or CMS Hub, which is by HubSpot. And HubSpot is a company that when they started, I been following them for a long time, and they've been increasingly adding new products over the years. They added some new products to their lineup, which just made things even more enticing. I remember when this first started with they had a software called Grader. When it was first introduced a few years ago, I used that and started using a few of the products. So now they've added the CMS. One of the things that separate HubSpot is that you get a lot of great support. The support is really good because they want to make sure that you are satisfied and you're getting the results that you're going for. Because from when they started, always been that results oriented, and they give you a lot of tools to make sure you understand what you're getting. So it's a really great one. You can do it the drag and drop editor, which allows you to build a website just by dragging and dropping things. You have multilingual content creation. This is key. If you want to build a website in your native language, well, you can do that with it. And they have a lot of themes as well that you can be able to use. You have some SEO recommendations that they can tell you how to improve your site if you want to rank better. And you can take a look at some of their themes here, which is really nice, simple and clean. You can build your own stuff. And then you get, 24/7 support. phone support at that, which is rare for a CMS platform, because most of them you can't really get the support. Like, you'd have to join a community, or you'd have to send an email somewhere, like on a group type. But with them, you call someone directly and you're able to get that, which comes at a price. You know, the price in here for the professional, $300 a month. And then for the enterprise, $900 a month. Now, I would say that if you are looking to have that handheld, someone to walk you through and, you know, kind of show you the rope, like an onboarding almost when employees join the company, then this is definitely a great investment for you to make. Because if you have questions, you get stuck somewhere, you can actually speak with a real human, which is really rare in most cases, because sometimes other companies, you just chat and, you know, it becomes harder for you to get the help you need. And they have 2,000 certified agencies globally. So you have a lot of the supports that you need, especially if you're just starting out. A lot of support that you need, which is really, really great. So CMS Hub is a really great option for you to go with as well. So as you can see, we've gone through all those. I hope that you've been able to kind of understand the options that you have now to be able to build the type of site that you want with going through all that list. And if you have any more questions, feel free to check out my website, matthewtaman.com. I do consultations. I do web design training. So if you're looking to build a CMS website, whether it's with like Joomla or drag and drop with WordPress, and you need some assistance, I would love to work in a project for you and just kind of help point you in the right direction. So let me know of the ones that I listed, which ones are you using, which ones have you used, and what's been your experience with them.